All right, guys, how are you doing today? Trust you have an amazing day, whatever time it is in your part of the world. We're excited to be back on set, and she can't get her hands off me. Can you see that? Can you see it? She just can't. Can you? Answer the question now. No, but answer the question. Can you
I
get your
can actually.
Do you, I right now I can.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
guys. So today we're going to be discussing something about, what do people call moolah,
Cheddar.
rubber, cheddar
What's this
cheese.
rubber thing? Where's that from?
I don't know. Rabasha, rubber, green, Benjamins, Owo, Ego, Kudi, what else?
Money.
Money. Yeah, so it's just basically how some ladies, especially, it happens with the guys as well, but men ladies have it more when they say, I like the guy, but he doesn't have enough
Money. Can he take care
of
of
me,
me?
a whole me like this. I'm like United
We
Nations.
don't get married to potential anymore. There needs to be evidence.
Something to count
Tangible.
and cash out. Yeah. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. You'd agree that's a very exciting topic.
An
so-
important topic at that, actually.
Absolutely,
Because
I agree.
money is necessary, but to what degree and how much money do you need to have to be ready to get married?
Good question. So stay tuned and stay glued and pull in all your friends because you're going to love this one. Talk to you soon. All right, guys, so welcome back. It's an exciting topic, and we're going to dive right into the heart of the topic today. It's still all about money. Does he have enough money to take care of me, all of me with all my needs and demands and all of that? So let me ask my darling, delectable LL, did this question pop up in your own heart or in your space or in your environment or in your dreams or in your family or whatever about me, like that guy? Only God knows
I
what.
think unconsciously or culturally, it must have come up at some point. I think I remember my mom asking me, so you want, I mean, she liked you and everything. I think most people generally like you. Anyway, so she asked me at some point that, so you want to get married to a pastor?
Pastor.
So she didn't voice out much other than that, but the concept is, what else is he doing? How is his church money is going to use to feed you? How much is church money? And that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that came up, and because at that particular time, and I say this ever so often, there was another guy who had apparently come to meet my family, and I was not aware of this meeting. It was actually a neighbor that was actually telling me that, this man came to see your family, and I'm like, really? It's such a meeting held. And he said to me, told you the kind of money I want. And this sparks my head sometimes, but don't worry, I'm very happy. He said to me,
Someone is still sparking your head. Hey!
no.
I need to
no,
go and take off the blood of Jesus
let me land
and
first.
purify.
Let me land. And so he said to me, the type of money I want, Toju, is the kind of money that my wife will say, babe, I want to go to Brazil tomorrow. And he can send her to Brazil for 3 days and come back without any stress.
That one is small now. Me that will send you in one day. Private jet, you go, bring it back. Is that, I even thought you were going to say that. A guy said he will bring God into your living room, angels.
We're talking about material things now, money. So you can find somebody
Okay.
that can take me to Brazil just tomorrow. The other things
So
that
can I
he-
not take you to Brazil
Oh,
tomorrow?
Peter, let me land now.
Even if I can't take you to
Oh my
Brazil, I
God.
can give you Brazilian hair, Brazilian perfume, Brazilian. What else do they do in Brazil? Football.
Shabi is my question.
Sorry.
Shabi is my question.
Okay, land.
Right? So at that point, there was that, and she knew he had all of that. But I think I already answered the question for myself. You didn't have that type of money at that time. So I had to ask myself, what do you have? Yeah. So it came up culturally, or should I
Yeah.
say parentally, if that's correct.
In your space.
Yes. And I know at some point, you always tease me about this, but I'm telling you not to judge me. I wasn't asking like that. I was just trying to, picture my future. Okay, can I deal with this? Can I not deal with this? Where will I need to make adjustments? I know there was some time, because where I used to live before I got married, we used to run generator for long hours at night. But I know in most homes, generator goes off by 11 or 12. And then most homes, or some homes, they use small generator, aka you can't on freezer, you can't on AC and all. I wasn't, in quotes, used to that. So I started asking you that, okay, what type of
She's even laughing at herself now to know how porous that.
No, don't say porous. Don't say
okay,
porous.
let me say porous. How, I don't know, lackluster, whatever that question is in the
Shallow?
context. Yeah, well, similar.
But that was because you know who you are and you expected me to know better. But a girl just wanted to ask to be sure. Anyway, so Aisha asked him, okay, so what type of generator will you have in your house? Or how long do you intend to run generator for? Do you plan to have an inverter or something like that?
And that question just really
Apparently
vexed
upset
me.
him.
What do you mean? How
But that
can
was the
you
only
ask it?
time. That was the only
Yeah,
time I
yeah. To
think
be fair, okay,
yeah. And
yes.
generally before then, and even after then, I don't think I'm a materialistic person.
I don't think you are.
And this was a man.
5 years, I should know that you're not.
Yeah, this was a man I met living in a hostel, and then you moved to live with someone else before you moved to your own place. So I
Yeah.
met you, what you
In
would say now
transition.
as squatting with a squatter, or squatting with someone though. And then you didn't have a car or anything at the time.
Yeah.
You weren't working 9 to 5. 700 naira food for us was a point of celebration. So I knew that you didn't have all of that. But I was sold on what you had, which I guess we'll talk about. So yeah, it
All
did
right,
come
yeah,
up, but it wasn't major.
So the question is very real. It's very, well, in certain degrees, valid, but we'll explain our thoughts and our suggestions on all of that. So if you're having that kind of question and that kind of concern, just chill out. We're going to talk about it. We'll see you right after this. All right, so welcome back. Now, my beautiful wife confessed to me earlier that she actually had financial considerations in evaluating my prospects as her husband.
Brief, short-lived consideration.
Contemplation, she was thinking deep. Hi, see my life. Is this the man I want to
Is this how I'm going to end up?
That's a good idea. All right, but tell me, what are some of the things that helped you put that in perspective, and to finally say to yourself that, okay, well, this guy might not have all the money in the world, and maybe to some degree, marrying him, there might be a reduction in the quality of my life for a season. As when I say quality of my life, not quality of who you are,
Yeah.
but quality of lifestyle and experience. So why did you still decide to go ahead?
Yeah. You know, I think like we hinted in past videos, sometimes from where you are, it might seem like regression or this is not, we're not agreeing on this. But if you can just come to a compromise, in the future, you'll be wondering why you even thought like that in the first place. So a couple of things for me. From the very beginning, you sold me on vision. And I know it sounds cliche, vision. Is it vision that we eat? But even before we became close friends or intimate friends or we started courting, you were always talking. That's just you. You would always talk about what you were going to do, what you were working on, how this was going to come together, how you were going to build this and buy that. It was you, and it wasn't because you were trying to impress me. We weren't even close then. So you were actively doing stuff. And over time, when we became friends, which I always tell people dating, give yourselves time. It's not that you meet today, 6 months later, marry. So I had time to see
I
your...
mean, that could happen, but it's not the recommended as in 6 months.
Yeah. So I could see your track record over time. And so you come and say, this one just clicked and that just happened. So
Okay.
steadily and progressively I could see, and the things we were talking about excited me.
Yeah.
So we're on the same value wavelength and
Yeah.
God wavelength. And I mean, I looked up to you as far, and I still do look up to you as far as God was concerned. I'm like, if he's telling me that God is the one putting all these things in his heart, and I can see how God is making this come to pass,
Yeah.
I better cash in on this and reap the dividend and interest later, so I can say I knew him and I still know him.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
an ATM machine, and you've got my ATM card.
Pin. I actually
and
do,
pin.
literally.
Actually, well, that's true.
Literally.
Yeah, so that's beautiful. Thanks for the perspective. Now, one of the things that endeared me to you was the fact that you didn't know me as a pastor. Number one, you didn't know me as a pastor initially, or you believed in the dream and the vision. Number two was this: I was working on a big book at that time, and I think at some point you asked to edit. You asked, were you the one that asked, or
I
was
think
that
you
one that?
brought it to me and asked if I would, and I said
Okay,
sure.
and so she was able to see herself in the picture of the future I was painting at the time. But let's still talk more about this money issue,
Yeah.
because there are many ladies that will be like, vision is okay,
Yeah.
but vision with provision is better.
It's bearer.
It's more bearer.
More bearer. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
if you had found someone like me who had vision and who had money, would that have been an automatic, do you say this? See you later?
if you had money but no vision,
No, somebody else who had vision like me and who
Yeah.
had money, more money than I did. Would there have been an automatic get out of here. So
I don't
catch
know.
you later.
Depends on how well the guy can talk. Because he
Hey,
can
see
talk.
my life.
So no. No, what I'm
Can you
trying to
say-
say is, I don't think the guy would have been able to talk like you.
So it was the talk.
It was the talk.
Okay, so because we're trying to provide perspective for people, so that means that guys, if you don't have a lot of money, I think that one of the things that can help is, are you building something? Are you working on something? And also, are you able to articulate
Articulate
it
it.
in an interesting and engaging manner?
And believable way.
Yes, because the truth is, even for money, you need to be able to talk or communicate, like, sales presentations, sales pitches, marketing informations, whatever you're doing, for you to be able to draw resources or pull people in, even in business or ministry. Once it has to do with people or value creation, you must be able to communicate that value. So I think that for some guys who sort of feel all the ladies just like money, they just want money, maybe one of the areas people could look at is, what am I really doing? How does she fit into what I'm doing? And how can I communicate that value in such a way that she agrees? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I do believe that because the man is always about his work anyway. So if you as the woman can also see how you can partner with him to build something, that also helps. I think how much you should have to start is also relative. So for me, because even before we got married, you had moved into your own flat at least. So even if it's a 2-bedroom flat, can we start here? And I think a 2-bedroom flat, even if it's 1 bedroom, if you have a nice parlor, nice living room,
Yeah.
is actually okay to start with, as long as you know that you're building something. So
Yes.
bit by bit, you
build
move up.
together. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to talk some more about the place of the woman, because there's now also the cultural pressure. So for you, there was a brief moment where you had to consider something. But for many people, their circles, as in like their friends, they're all about, this guy must be driving a Mercedes Benz, must have a BMW before I can be MW, as in be his wife, be my wife. This guy must have a house on the hill, a mansion in Ikoyi, must be able to fly out of the country every 2
But
weeks.
I think it's all about priorities, really, because some people might have all of that, and I don't admire them. I don't think they have depth or content. I don't envy them. I'm very happy. I feel very full where I am now, or where we were then, because I could see ahead, and I was enjoying you. I was enjoying the God communication, the love, the future we're building.
Yeah.
And I feel that is a lot of richness in itself.
Yeah, you're right, because riches are not just about money. So I think that there's also the place of, especially women. I'm saying women because in our dealings, we found that more women ask this question than men. They're actually men as well that ask the question, does she have money, or is she just coming to come and...
Yeah, because I don't want a liability, not the one
Yes.
that her mother will come and start asking me for money for school fees for her younger brother and medical bills and all of that.
True. So when we come back, we're going to deal with 2 major things. Number one, how do you govern your appetites in a culture that is so driven by materialism and so desperate for a cash cow that will finally deliver them from all their financial slavery? And number two, how does the woman actually now also build her own resource base without necessarily becoming cocky or prideful or too high-minded or heavy-headed to be a wife in the real context of it? So those are very exciting topics and or themes, and we're going to dive right into that when
After the
we're
break.
back.
See you soon. Okay, we are back. And now we want to talk about how to get, I think both men and women, but maybe especially women, out of the pressure of he needs to have a lot of money. And sometimes I don't think all women are generally thinking that way, but somehow our social constructs,
Yeah.
Instagram and social networks and ojukokoro sometimes, just open eye and long throat, just make people subconsciously begin to desire,
crave.
Yeah, to crave a larger than life kind of life.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that?
So I think the first thing is to understand that you're an individual, really and truly an individual, and that means that you're a whole person. Number one, you don't have to go with the flow. What every other person expects, he must be rich, he must have a house in Dubai, he must have accounts in Singapore and all of that. I think that if you see yourself as an individual and a person of value, then you know that whoever I'm connecting with, whoever I'm going to get married to, I have value to add to the value that he has.
And then to multiply
that value. So by virtue of my presence in his or her life, there's going to be an augmented experience. There's going to be an increase in the quality of life. If you have that kind of mindset, you're not just coming as a taker, grabber, trying to do that.
Yeah.
You're coming as a giver who's
Yeah.
going to add value that will have compound interest.
Yes, I think that point you made right there is very important. Your husband is not your
Tickets.
yes ticket to a better life, because that, I think that even makes you as the woman look small. So don't you have brain? Don't you have value? Don't you have something to offer? Don't you think you are worth something? There's something about you. You're not just coming. You're not a charity project.
Yeah.
You're not. So
Yeah, I
go
like
in
that.
there with your head at high,
Yeah.
expecting to take, but also more so to give.
Yes.
I think the issue of contentment is very important.
Yes.
Because the truth is, even for people that are making more money, if you're not content with what you
will
have,
never be enough.
it will never
You
be
always
enough
want
for you,
more
and that
and more.
exactly, and that brings greed
Yeah.
and the desire to steal or take somebody else's own or be like someone else's.
Or lie.
Yes.
As in leading a false life and posting false images and pictures of experiences that never happened just because you have Photoshop and some cool apps to doctor the way you're coming across. I think the other thing is also to think about this plague of comparison. So a lot of people are under the pressure because they're comparing themselves with other people, or in some cases comparing their husbands to their fathers, to their daddies. Now your dad is able to afford this kind of lifestyle at 60.
Yeah.
Your husband is 27 or
Yeah.
30 or 31.
And in your
It's
daddy's time,
taken-
remember that 1 naira was a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean the
And
economy was a lot
1,000 naira now
fairer.
is
Prospects
slightly-
were so much more. But even if everything was about the same level, it's taken your dad 20, 30 years to
build what he
that
has.
lifestyle. And you're expecting this guy who's just been working for about 4 or 5 years
Mm-hmm.
to be able to match up. So if it can do yourself this favor, stop comparing. Don't compare your husband to your dad, or your husband to your rich uncle, or your wife to your rich auntie, or your wife to your mother who has that shop in Lagos Island where they sell one yard of lace for, I don't know,
$1 million.
100,000 naira or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you can stop comparing as well. And I think there's also the place of give yourself time, or yourselves time. By time, not just layabout time, not inactive time, but time where we're consistently investing together, checking our books, our budget, our plans, our
Yes.
prospects. So there are certain things that my wife has decided to handle by herself, not because I don't have the money for it.
He has
we've been
more
blessed. We've been
than
blessed
enough money
by God.
to
I don't have that
handle
much
it.
money. Oh, please.
More than enough to handle the part I handle. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, before I get 100 million requests. Yeah, but in terms of the home front and general expenditure, we're really blessed to be able to take care of that. But there's certain things my wife just says, oh, you know what, let me take care of this. Let me take care of that, because she also earns a decent income, and she's able to pitch in without any kind of pressure. And that happens over time as well. So in closing, what would you say?
No, I don't want to close yet. I still want to
Okay.
say something.
Okay.
Again, I really need to buttress the fact that things change and people grow over time.
Yeah.
I was telling someone a couple of days, I'm not sure we're talking about this same money thing, and I said, do you know that I've had more material things from my marriage in 5 years than when I was living with my family. So I've got 2 cars from you, and nobody bought me a car before. Yeah, driver might take me somewhere, but nobody bought me a car. But you bought me 2 cars. I've traveled around the world more with you than I did when I was at home.
Wow.
And so things have changed and things have evolved. So
Yeah.
I'm really house level. Yeah.
So that's very, that it's very key to realize that things change, people
and you
grow,
can really be
times
happy where you are.
revolve.
Do
Yeah.
your house nicely. Go to a nice furniture store that is
Yeah.
not so expensive. Put scented candle there. Even if it's just your living room, you decorate. That's where people are coming to.
Yeah.
It's really nice, and you look rich. Meanwhile, you know what you're actually going through. But put it together well.
Yeah.
Carry yourself well. Be decent. Give your husband props. Just, you can really be happy with
Yeah.
enough.
Yes.
You really can.
Enjoy the process, own the process, take responsibility for the process, trust God in the process, because there's also favor. And the Bible actually says that he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. One of the things that many healthy marriages have experienced is that favor factor. That when together you agree, your heart is pure and open before God, things just that happening even beyond the scope of your personal ability
And
to
input.
generate funds and finances. Yep. So in closing,
In closing, please don't say no to that man just because he doesn't have an overflowing bank account.
right now.
Right now, yes. Can he provide the basic things
Yeah.
you need for life and living at this point?
Yes.
Does he make you happy? Does he have the same values? Is he God focused?
Yes.
I don't mean is he a church goer, or does he fear God? Does he believe in God?
Yeah.
Is he connected to God as his source?
Yeah.
Because if God is his source, you know he's not going to run dry.
Yes.
So please don't say no to him.
Yeah. So if God is your source, you'll never run out of resource. So stay connected to your source. Be Christ-centered. If the man is feeding your inspiration, feeding you in terms of your soul, your emotional well-being, prospects about the future, he is a man of character, of integrity. Your family, they're happy with him. Or if your family are not happy initially, you're able to negotiate the process to the point where they're comfortable and all, then money should not be a big deal as long as you know he's diligent and consistent and he has something that is building over time. We wish you the best on that, and we're just praying that wherever you are right now, that you make the right decision and that you are both strengthened to keep growing financially in every other area. We know that there are many other perspectives and thoughts that may be beyond the scope of our own conversation today, so we're interested in knowing your thoughts, your ideas, or maybe some of your experiences and stories, maybe your personal story of how you started with or without money and how you're doing right now. Somebody is where you used to be and will learn from whatever you share in the comment box. So please don't hesitate to share your thoughts with us. Like this, share it, connect with it. And if you know somebody who loves love,
Or someone who's in love,
or somebody who's praying to find love,
or praying that love finds them,
do send them the link to this video, tag them in the comment box, and let's share the wealth of wisdom and experience with them. And until the next time, bye.